keep striving for this religion that we preach. Keep pushing for nothing's ever out of reach. Because the time we keep on driving, it's all that much we go. The time we keep on fighting, and these colors I wear will be sold through the skins of my soul.
And welcome to another edition of the Luton Town International Podcast. Gavin's just got rid of his midget porn collection, so hopefully it should be glitch free. Trondy's been let out of the basement, and I apparently like a vampire. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
I have a drink here, and we talked about this before we came on air. For every time you guys say something stupid, I'm going to take a drink. I'll drink otherwise as well. It doesn't have to be just you guys saying something stupid.
Okay, so whenever you say that was so stupid, so in which case I'm going to start now. I agree.
I'll just
I agree with Gav.
I'll just do this. And that way
that's a whole plate there right now.
Just down the whole.
It's too early for alcohol, mate.
Glass.
Come on.
It's Christmas-ish.
Sure.
Not for me. It's Christmas. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I suppose we better talk about football at some point rather than just take the piss out of each other.
Where's the fun in that? Go on.
Exactly. So, I mean, obviously, the Bournemouth game we didn't cover for obvious reasons. All I'm going to say on that is, I said after, basically, results, anything else, whether we survive or not, doesn't matter. Tom's health's more important. Thankfully, he seems to be sort of, home, recovering, getting bored. So, just all I'll say on that one is, get well soon, Tom, and we'll leave it at that for that game.
Yeah.
Right, so on to the Newcastle game, and we've been guessing, so we've been improving week on week on week. We've been threatening scalps, we've been threatening Arsenal, threatening Man City, and Newcastle with a fairly poor away record. All their Arab millions rolled into town, and they were a scalp waste to be had, weren't they, Alex?
Yes, it was a good game. We had control pretty much all of the game. The only thing you can say, taking away a little bit from that victory, was that Newcastle had more injuries than a old-time senior Sunday League team. I think.
Taking away the head injuries. Do you give a fuck?
No. Of course, you can only win against whatever you're playing, and we won. But yeah, they started a 17-year-old. He got yanked off the pitch after 34 minutes. That says pretty much all about how dominant we were, I think.
They also had Trippier. They had sort of England international. I mean, you say injuries, but how much did their starting 11 cost compared to ours?
Yes, compared cost-wise, yes, absolutely. And yeah, I'm not taking away anything from the victory. I'm just saying that Newcastle had a lot of injuries. It was to our advantage, but they were still a very strong side, and we still beat them emphatically, even though the scoreline only indicates 1-0.
Gav, I'll take it you're not going to make any excuses whatsoever for Newcastle.
None whatsoever. You want to talk about injuries, or we're missing our captain. We're missing Reece Burke. We're missing Dan Potts. Okay, maybe not a starter in the Premier League, but we're still missing him, still injured. We're missing the Kamba. Kabori went off at halftime.
Ogbene's not really match fit.
Ogbene's not match fit. As Alex said, you can only beat what's put in front of you, right? And we beat what was put in front of us. Newcastle, as Alex said, have had a pretty poor away record. And I think I said it to you that this is a game I realistically expected to get something from. Maybe not a win, but it was something that we expect to get something from.
Yeah, but I remember discussing that before the game, and I was thinking that this is a game we can win. And I thought we would be able to take them, especially at home. But yeah, we were dominant in defense. Osho, I don't understand where he came from, but he's just growing and growing into the role, and it's just amazing to watch him play.
Well, if you wind back a year ago, Osho, I'm thinking he's an absolute liability. It's thinking right.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he's been improving bit by bit, but then he scored against the Scum. And since then, he's been absolutely outstanding. So, big game player. And I think he's played out 8-9 games of Premier League now. He does not look out of place in any way, shape, or form.
No, we missed him at the start of the season. That's how good he's been for us.
And Osho is one of them players that you look at and go, okay, he was there when Rob Edwards came in, right? It's not Rob Edwards signing, but you may as well say that's a Rob Edwards signing, because you look at Osho under Nathan Jones and then look at him under Rob Edwards. As you guys just said, it looks like two completely different players. Now,
Yes.
I don't know, like Edwards, I know Nathan Jones was a defender. Edwards a defender. I don't know if he's spoken to him differently or told him, hey, this is what these are where your strengths are, these are where your weaknesses are. Let's work on your strengths. Let's get better at your weaknesses. I don't know what it is, but he is one player that you can look at that team and go, that's the Rob Edwards effect.
Yeah, I think the Rob Edwards effect. Rob Edwards, it seems to be, he'll take players aside and almost say, right, you're good. I believe in you. You're playing. This is what I want you to do. And I think it's not just him. You've got sort of, you've got Ross Barkley, who's been absolutely sensational. And he was a player I think we discussed before. I was a bit dubious when we signed him, thinking, is he after one last payday? But he has been absolutely phenomenal. Newcastle game. He just sees passes that you can't even see if you're watching on TV, so with a full view of it.
Yeah, and Ross Barkley. The thing with Ross Barkley, I think a lot of people don't understand, and like he was shit at Chelsea. He was super poor at Chelsea, but Chelsea used him in the rotation. Ross Barkley is one of those players that need to play every single game because he keeps in shape. He grows into form, and if you keep chopping and chaining him in and out of the team, he won't perform. So he's getting a start. He's getting the starts in our team, and he's just growing into every game. And he will just continue being tremendous for us. It's Rob Edwards has found how to use him, and he's using him the right way. And yeah, it's just brilliant for us.
I mean, obviously, from Ross Barkley brings on to our other sort of England international, former international possibly, but it was still there. Andros Townsend, again, a player nobody would take a chance on. And yep, he pops up with a goal on the shortest players on the pitch against his old side. And Gav, again, it's a set piece.
Yeah, I mean, it's been our strength all season, right? We are extremely good. We're strong. We're physical. We're tough. You look at the flick on from Ross Barkley, but you look at players even in the box just trying to get onto the end of it, causing Newcastle defenders problem. We're a physical side, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we got on the end of it, and Andros Townsend got on the end of it, and was able to head it home. And I think they may, I don't know, but it seemed to be a diminished celebration at the start. And I know he even went over to the linesman. And I'm just wondering if maybe, because there was nothing over here to say they were checking VAR. So I'm just wondering if maybe they were checking VAR and it just didn't come across on
They would check the AR on every single goal scored in the Premier League.
Okay, yes. Well, there you go. So there's always a chance. So maybe that mutes the celebrations a little bit. You're kind of going, oh shit, is it going to count? But yeah, Townsend's another player that's been fantastic for us. Maybe doesn't get the plaudits that Barkley gets just because he's been yanked off after 60 minutes or so most games, right? Because he's building up his fitness. He didn't play for nearly a year, I think it was.
2 years.
2 years. So he's building up his fit. He's building up his fitness. He's getting his fitness back up. So you understand that. Time management, game management, bringing him off, bringing on someone else, let legs start to tire. But he's another player that's given us a different dimension and a bit of experience. And, you can see some of the things he does. It's just like, it shows the experience, the Premier League experience that he has. But on the Ross Barkley thing, like, he was fantastic against Arsenal. We all talked about that. He was fantastic against City. We talked about that as well with losses. The most impressed I've been by Ross Barkley was against Arsenal. The way he dominated that midfield of Rice, Havertz, and Odegaard. We talked about that.
Odegaard, in fact, actually apparently said to him, didn't he? Sort of, will you please stop running at me with the ball?
Yeah. So that was the most impressed I'd been by Barkley this season so far, and we talked about that. But I actually think I've changed my mind now. I think against Sheffield United was actually probably the most impressed I've been by Ross Barkley, and it wasn't as much a stamp on the game as it was against Arsenal, where he just ran that midfield. But it was that every time he got the ball, you look at that game, and it's like 2-3 Sheffield United players around him. They knew where the danger was coming from. They still couldn't.
We've not actually got to the Sheffield game yet, have we? We haven't finished with
No,
Newcastle yet.
no, I get that, but I'm just saying, like that to me is why Barkley's so important to this team now. Is that, you know, he needs to be able to do that against the smaller, like against Arsenal. Havertz, Rice, and Odegaard are never going to go, okay, we need to team up on this guy. They're going to play their own game. Sheffield United are very much a team down near us where kind of like we need to stop this guy. And even Newcastle to a certain extent we're doing it. We need to stop the balls coming through him. And that's what we're going to get in the next couple of weeks when we play teams that aren't supposedly in the top 4 or 6 or whatever it is. We're going to have teams single out Barkley and go, stop him. How do you still? And that's going to be the test then. Either one, they stop him, and if they do stop him, do we have another way of doing it? Or two, they're not going to be able to stop him. Hopefully it's the second.
Well, no, if they try and stop him, they're putting 2-3 players on him. That gives us room. I mean, it's going to bring in another player here. It says Samuel Lukonga. Obviously, he's come in for the last 2 games, and it's.
Well, everything's going through Barkley right now. You can see that everything is going through Barkley.
But then it's, you know, getting out to the flanks. But I mean, Samuel Lukonga coming in, I says last 2 games. Now there was a story we think about sending him back, which I personally think would be absolute madness, unless it's the thinking right. We really need to try to send us back on loan. Obviously, a bit light there, but it just doesn't make sense. I think it's Lukonga. If you've got a player like that, the way he can play. You just keep him, and I think that's a bit of a nothing story personally.
Yeah,
staying on
just with transfer news, there's no point paying attention to any of the transfer rumors right now. Like, if you look at the start of the season, Andros Townsend, who saw that coming, Ross Barkley, who saw that coming. Most of our signings have been like coming out of the blue and maybe leaked like the day before we did the signing. Don't listen to any transfer rumors with us. That's for sure. They're really closed up with that, and that's great.
I mean, I think the Newcastle game, Alan Shearer put out a tweet saying, right, bearing on Newcastle's team, so right, out fought, out muscled, out passed, out desired, out commitment. And, you know, this is someone who at the start of the season was coming for criticism because he basically said we were naive, which, to be fair, he was correct. But, I mean, he's been quite decent with his assessment since then.
Yeah, I think Shearer had it right. When it started the season, it felt unfair for us. But like if you look at it from a neutral perspective, the start of the season we were naive. Losing 4-1 to Brighton, there was a very naive game of us. But we've learned, and that's the thing with the team and with Rob Edwards. He learns, and he's able to take that experience and build it into the team, and also with his defensive experience as a player. I think him building the defense was perfect for us in Premier League, because look at Teden Mengi, how he's grown. Like, nobody wanted him when we signed him. And we signed him for, you know, a bucket of crisps and a 6-pack of beer, pretty much.
Wait, that's an undisclosed fee. Don't give it away.
but like, come on, and like nobody. I was like, who? And I think a lot of others were like, who? When we signed him, and look at him now. Would you prefer him in the team at the moment? He's just playing amazingly.
Actually, to be fair to Gav wasn't saying who. Gav was saying this is a guy who can't even get in a team ahead of Harry Maguire.
Yeah, and he's proved me wrong. But hey, let's not get away from Shearer. Yeah, like you guys have been too nice about him. I say fuck him. You know, Roy Keane didn't punch him hard enough. You know, like you have a new team. You have a new team. We'll get to him. We have a new team. We have a new team in the Premier League. Never been in the Premier League in the Premier League era. Sheffield United and Burnley are yo-yo teams. You know, never been in the Premier League. And yeah, you're right. We were naive. But is there any reason to turn around and be so critical of us, you know, in that first game? I say fuck him. I say Roy Keane didn't punch him hard enough.
I think, I mean, it's he's a pundit, he's a job to critical. I mean, basically, bear in mind, Newcastle, our team is one of the first things he said on Match Today stuff. Goes right, Luton, and what do you know? Luton are good at crosses. They're good at set pieces. So he stopped me getting both. And then he goes, look at that, 9 seconds. They've allowed Luton to cross. He had another one, just basically the speed of the turnover from its. I think it was Ross Barkley's shot when he basically ran, took the guy off, and then some, you know, he hit the crossbar. He said, "Look at that. There's 9.5 seconds from their goal kick to basically from their corner or whatever, or them in position at the other end of the pitch to Barkley getting that shot away."
Congratulations for pointing out the fucking obvious.
Well, he's a pundit, but it's
Oh no! Pundits pointing out the obvious are not allowed.
Yeah, we'll come on to a different pundit in a second, but I mean, I'm going to mention first Thomas Kaminski, finding a clean sheet and well and truly deserved.
Yep.
Player of the season, signing of the season.
There's a lot of competition.
He's up there, right?
Oh,
He's up there.
There's so many.
There's been so many. Don't get me wrong. And
yeah,
just as a thing, I'm asking that question because for me, he's neither. He's neither player of the season or signing of the season. But he's got to be up there in the top 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
In both categories. Maybe for player of the season, for signing of the season, maybe in the top 3. Player of the season,
definitely in the top 20. Definitely top 20.
Right, Cameron's plans for the Sheffield United one, and this is obviously going to be there was a certain pundit who said, "I can't back into September or August. I can't take Luton seriously. I can see him being relegated by Christmas."
Merry Christmas.
We went into Christmas. Yeah, we went into Christmas 2 points off safety. It's not quite the same. And what's been noticeable is basically Crooks, to his team of the week, he avoids mentioning it completely. I mean, even when basically the last one he did, he goes, right, the big talking points. Now, the biggest talking point is obviously our captain having a heart attack. Completely blanked that fact, didn't even acknowledge it. And I think I just tweeted, I said, that's not even a shit pundit. That's just being classed as a human being.
Yeah, and I think he must have headed the ball a bit too many times. It's just like, even the whole down by Christmas, he just shows he doesn't do math. Come on, it's not even possible. Like, yeah, sure, we're in the relegation zone still, and it's still going to be a hard slug to avoid relegation. But yeah, we're still in it. We can still do it, and it's still possible. And yeah, Gareth Crooks is just
Sorry, look, just Everton have just conceded an equaliser, by the way.
Woo!
But that's good. That's a good one.
Never thought I'd be cheering for Manchester City, but let's go.
There's really odd results. Like it's kind of like it's thinking, right, I had this odd situation wanting Liverpool to win, thinking, why am I wanting Liverpool to win a game? Oh yes, because of who they're playing.
Yeah. But Alex has been very nice there, because I think the word you're looking for, Alex, is cunt. He's a cunt.
Nice.
Like at least with Shearer, he's come out and said, okay, he was critical about us at the start. He's starting to like be a bit more nice to us now at this point. He didn't come out and say anything stupid. Like, he said we were naive, which I think you said, Nick, was correct, and it could have been correct. More likely was correct. But with Gareth Crooks, he's just come out with simple falsities. Like, it's fake news, as they call it over here. And he's not come out and backtracked on it, or he's just a cunt. It's simple, plain and simple.
I think Gareth Crooks is actually known for being completely fucking stupid.
He's proven that. And it's just, it's such a bad look, not even for him. It's such a bad look for the BBC.
Yeah,
this is like why he's confined to a web page rather than actually use as a panel match today. And probably not either.
I gotta ask, like, some questions got to be asked about it. Like, in the last team of the week, I think he had like 2 or 3 players from Liverpool, and their game was 1-1, wasn't it? They drew. Like, why would you put players in the team of the week when they freaking even didn't win their game? It's like,
it just random, doesn't it? I mean, I think he even picked the goalkeeper for a defense spissing pass.
No, I just think it shows that top 6 favoritism. He's one of those great examples for top 10 top 6 favoritism. Like, the only thing that happens in Premier League are the top 6 teams, and then he throws in 1 or 2 players that aren't in the top 6 just for flavor.
Well, basically, he makes us look like we do our research here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Research. What's that?
Exactly. You think we're quite open about it, so
that's what you do between the sips of whatever you're drinking.
Right. Anyway, I think as I may mention it in WhatsApp chats, certainly to at least one of you, it's mentioned a couple of other plans. I said, right, last time we were in the top flight, over Christmas, we won 3 games in a row. The 3rd game was Chelsea. So I would love that to happen. I said that pre-Newcastle.
We can win it. You look at Chelsea tonight. Was a 1-1 with Crystal Palace, or have they scored again?
Oh, I'm
I
not
mean,
sure. But
Chelsea are a complete and utter fucking shambles right now. I
think
think what's his name, Bowley or whatever his name is, was too worried about getting Otani to sign for the Dodgers than he was taking care of Chelsea.
They just
real
won
shambles.
with Maduka penalty in the 89th minute.
And that's at home. That's at home.
Yeah.
They're going to be at Kenilworth Road. Their away form is just as bad as Newcastle's.
Yeah,
you know.
And also, Kenilworth Road is a place that sort of, Arsenal struggled, Liverpool struggled, Man City have struggled.
Yeah. I think someone turned around. Was it Jack Grealish was talking about his days in the lower leagues, and he was talking about walking out on Kenilworth Road, and Bernardo Silva was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, seriously, that's the attitude, because they're not used to it. Kenilworth Road's one of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely, it is, and it's a different type of stadium. I think Chelsea's in a good form at the moment, and I think we might find them a bit hard. We've been playing a lot of games, and we are struggling with a lot of injuries. And then we got the African Cup of Nations coming up as well. I'm not sure if Gabor is even going to be available for the game because of African Cup of Nations coming up. But yeah, we'll have a good go at it. But I think we're forgetting discussing the Sheffield United game, because I think
we just haven't got to it yet.
Yeah, well, we need to bring
Nick's
that in.
got his list.
I do not have a list. I'm doing this on the top of my head.
We have a list during a podcast? What's going on, guys?
We do not have a list.
What's happened?
We have a list like I have hair on my head. But yeah, okay. Sheffield United game, which we're going to get to. I think try and go through an order on it. So, right. The good and the bad, and then the good. So, the good, the first half generally, it was... already mentioned Ross Barkley. Alfie Doughty was causing issues whenever he got the ball down the right-hand side. Townsend feeding him. According to Sheffield United fans, we won without having a shot on target, which seems similar to last season. Apparently, he didn't have a shot on target, yet still scored then as well.
Expected goals. Stats are great. As I seen someone on Twitter say the other day, the only stat that matters is the score. That's the only. You can talk about stats all you want, and I love stats. I love looking at stats and just looking at different things. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is
what the final scoreline is.
Sheffield United 2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I said that first half we're well worth our lead. I think it's first 20 minutes, half an hour, we were absolutely dominant, especially as the away side. They changed things, came back into it. I think half time probably came at the right time. And then they sort of, they had the pressure. I'm not saying we're doing badly. I mean, we're defending well on it. Obviously, the first goal, it's kind of, a potential penalty or not. Haven't really seen it fully, but you're thinking, right, there's something they'd reviewed. And then the guy plays it on the floor. May have handballed it when he fell down, so it's one of those odd rules. If you accidentally handball it as a goal scorer, it's disallowed. If you accidentally handball it as an assist, it's absolutely fine. So it's just one of those really, really odd things. It's like the Doughty booking, really, in Bournemouth game. Then the second goal, I think everyone thought was going in before it did, when that ball came unmarked to the far post. And I think it was it Bailey threw himself, somehow got the ball away, or was it Lukonga?
Yeah, there was a lot of sacrifices being done there. But for those two goals, what I want to say was, I thought it was both. They both came down the left-hand side, and I think both Bell and Giles, especially Giles, did a poor job at both of those goals, because Giles got caught ball watching for the second one, and he didn't position or didn't move at all during that first goal. He just kind of walked back instead of running back. If he had gotten back there and gotten back into the area instead of just kind of casually walking back, he could have been able to prevent that goal.
Now, I get the impression you've got this big circle around Giles' game, thinking, right, if there's a mistake he makes, I'm having it.
No,
so that's literally why I just took a drink. I wouldn't anyone said anything silly.
No, I wouldn't say that. I thought he played poorly, and he definitely was ball watching for the second goal. But I was actually emphasizing both Bell and Giles were kind of in for the first goal. Both Bell and Giles could have done more for their first goal.
So for the first goal, it actually wasn't Bell; it was Osho. If you look at it, it was Osho. So when the ball comes into McBurney, it's Osho marking McBurney, and McBurney pushed it across. For some reason,
I'm talking about before the game when they came down the left hand side.
No, I'm in total agreement there. I'm in total agreement there. But for the goal specifically, Osho had McBurney. McBurney pushed the ball across, and for some reason, Osho, which is we just spoke about him, he's been absolutely fantastic. He's allowed one mistake, you know. He, for some reason, runs into the box to where the ball's going instead of just staying with McBurney. There's enough Luton Town bodies in the box that should be able to deal with that. McBurney should be the guy that you're watching. Giles, you're right, doesn't run back. But he doesn't run back because he doesn't expect Osho to leave his man. The ball bounces back to McBurney and it's an easy finish. I don't think Giles would have got back. Plus, you look at it, Giles is actually supposed to be taking care of the guy behind him on the left hand, on the right hand, on Sheffield United's right or left. So McBurney's not his guy. And again, I'm not saying he shouldn't have run back into the box. You do. I gave Barkley shit about this for the Chelsea game back when we lost 3-1. Absolutely should. But I don't think Giles expects Osho to just bail into the box like he does. And then, like, it happens so quickly after that. Giles has no chance of getting back.
The fact we can be critical about a couple of moments when overall the defensively was so solid. Again, it was highlights of match of the day. It was I think the actual headline was "Dogged Luton" on Match of the Day, and it's again Shearer's demonstrating goes right the will to defend and stuff. And getting this right. Here's across the O's right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He said all 10 players behind the ball, when they need to be defending. Then he had Adebayo going, defending from the front and the back. I'm going to have a word on Adebayo here as well because I thought he led the line fantastic. I think he has stuff that just came in and he causes issues. He runs and runs and runs. He's a big presence. He's awkward.
Yeah, I think he has a bit more of a presence than Morris has up front, and that is to his advantage. I think both Morris and Ogbeni should be used more coming off the bench, especially Ogbeni with his speed, and both Morris and Ogbeni with his speed. When they can start running at those tight defenders. And they get on. They really give a good go, and they cause issues for the opposition. But in a way, when you see the way Adebayo moves up front, when you see how he positions and draws defenders to him, he causes so much grief. He causes so much more grief. The only thing I wish he wouldn't do is constantly being drawn out on the left hand side. He constantly goes to the left, and when you get a tell like that, the defenders will know about it and they will use it to their advantage. The Sheffield United players drew us out constantly to get it into awkward shot positions, and when we got that shot off, they could deal with it. So that was the only thing I would say. And but like when Morris come on, Morris and Ogbeni came on, they added something more to the team, and especially Morris. Like Morris did I would say Morris did more in those 30 minutes he was on than Adebayo did the entire game. But that was because he had that energy, he had that extra energy to spend, and he was playing against tired defenders as well.
And also, I mean, I think to be fair, I think it was a lot less than 30 minutes, but I think it's basically we're 2-1 down, so we've made them the attacking change, right? Go and get something from the game. So not so much about defending because I said you need to score, not concentrate so much on not conceding a game.
Yeah, okay. So I wouldn't say it was less than 30 minutes because we had 8 extra minutes as well. 10 extra added minutes. So there you go. But Morris did well, and I think that guy own goal up front. He's tremendous. He's scoring so many goals for us. Well, I really like.
He got a brace this game. Is one way from it, wasn't it?
Yeah, getting a brace. Yeah.
I mean, I think again, some comments there. It's the Sheffield United manager turned around and said, no, it's not unlucky because we're not. We're less than get crossed the 6-yard box. Yeah. Again, highlighted on Match of the Day. It's thinking right. What they should be doing is dragging them out to the 18-yard box, not less than actually get the ball into the 6-yard box, because then things can happen. So it was. You could say 2 own goals without getting shot on target themselves. That was lucky, but others they said, you work hard enough, you can make your own luck on there. And I think that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, and if you look at the first
Alex is
goal,
just picking on Ogbene because he's Irish. That's why he wants him coming off the bench. Ogbene should be starting.
I don't know. I think when you have when he is a speed merchant like that, why not just use it to our advantage to have him run against tired defenders for the last 30 minutes of the game instead of starting him running against fully uploaded defenders. In Premier League, it's so important to use the small advantages you have to your advantage. And yeah, I think Ogbene would be great doing that.
I think with Ogbene, I think it's either or. I think it's depending on matchups, really, right? So if you look at the matchup that we're coming up against Chelsea, is Reece James injured again? You probably put Ogbene in there because him and hopefully Dowdy on the left.
But who do you drop? Who do you drop? Townsend been playing well. Brown's been playing well as well.
This is where the Christmas.
Why would you drop a
licks,
winning team?
I totally get that. Like in my mind, growing up always you don't change a winning team, and I totally agree with that. Coming into the Christmas season, you've now had 3 games in a week, so there are going to be players with tired legs. I would not be surprised against Chelsea if we see Morris and Ogbene start, just because of the tired leg situation. Now, saying that, I also, because of the way we've been playing, would not be surprised to see Eli and Jacob Brown start. Yeah. Jacob Brown's been really good in the last couple of games. Like, we gave him a lot of shit here, beginning of the year, but he's been really good the last couple of games. He's definitely started. Oh, I gave him a lot of shit.
We gave him a bit of shit for missing some open goals, but so the work.
Yeah, exactly. So. We said he needed a striking coach, which I think he took our advice and got one. He's been really good.
I'd say if the players listen to us for advice, then absolutely.
Yeah. Our podcast.
But he's been really good the last couple of games. So
our podcast is
if he starts against Chelsea, I'm not worried. I'm not worried if he starts against Chelsea. But at the same point, I'm also looking at it going, this is the first time this season in the league, because obviously cup games, you can change the team. In the league, I think that we've had 3 games in a week. Burnley, second time that we've had 3 games in a week. Mm-hmm. So you're going to look at like who has the fresh legs.
To our advantage, Chelsea played today, so
they have one less day.
They have less day, and
it's an early kickoff.
Yes, and it's an even less hours we're talking about. But no, I think it's going to be a tough game, anyways. But with Sheffield United again, one of the things I want to emphasize there is that fighting back spirit that we had. Like, a lot of people would have maybe kind of felt like giving up after conceding 2 in such a quick succession as we did, and then like just fuck it. But we fought back hard, and I thought that taking advantages of mistakes is so important in Premier League. Like, you gotta take those chances, and you gotta take those mistakes and use them to your advantage when they happen. And I feel that we've seen some howlers against us, and we haven't really been able to take advantage of that. But against Sheffield United, we really did, and that's something I think it's important.
I do want to point out one thing about the Sheffield United game that we haven't pointed out yet. Did anyone else notice within the first... Okay, so take the first 17 minutes up until Dowdy's goal. Dowdy, I want to say, had 2 or 3 corners from the right-hand side. There was a Sheffield United fan that made it his point to get up and start yelling at Dowdy while he takes the corner.
Yeah. I saw that.
Dowdy was just laughing at him.
That was just the weirdest thing. Yeah, I know.
And then he scored the goal. He scored the goal and he went right to that direction and started doing this. I was like, yes, fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I saw that.
Doughty was apparently saying to right, ignore him, don't listen to him, don't listen to him. He's right, where are you, fucker?
Yeah, that was just so amusing because the guy was like sitting just behind the goal as well. So he got up and walked over to the corner and yelled at the guy. Like the security guard in front did absolutely nothing. He just stood there.
It was weird because the first time I noticed him was the first corner, right? The first, like what you just pointed out, Alex. The first time I noticed him was the first corner, and I thought he was sitting there. He's just standing. He's just standing up and giving it loads. But I was so entranced by it, you know, him giving Doughty loads. And you can see Doughty laughing at him and saying something to him, you know, just wait, probably. But then when the second corner came along, I was looking for that guy, and I couldn't see him in the crowd. And next one, I just see him coming out and left of my screen. I was like, he's not even sitting there. He's purely coming over. He's purely coming over just to give Doughty shit. Yeah, and then Doughty just shuts him up. I was like, oh, that's brilliant.
Just as funny as the waving elderly lady, the elderly lady manager at our home game, the woman who was trying to give the players directions. Oh, there's some good personalities out there.
I mean, at least that's
just so
actually
you know, Alex. Just so you know, Alex, I wanted to get her on the podcast instead of you, but Nick wouldn't have it.
That's okay. She probably knows more about tactics than I do.
Well, that goes without saying. Come on, no, we cannot have anybody on this program who knows what they're talking about.
That's a very important thing. Yeah, no, she's too qualified for us. That's a good point.
I had my chat with Ricky Hill way back in the day, and after that, I just said I'm not worthy, so just keep it light and banter. You know.
Yeah.
We'll try and get some more to your level. So I don't know. Danny Spiller.
Danny Spiller. Didn't you have a lead on him at one point? You had a lead on him at one point. You were like discussing with him, weren't you?
Yeah. No. Like I was DMing him at one point on Twitter, and then all of a sudden he blocked me. It was actually funny story. It was the same with Paul Buckle. I have nothing bad to say about Paul Buckle, just so you know, Rebecca Lowe, in case they ever want to go for a job at NBC. I have nothing bad to say about your husband. I think he was listening. I think he was fine. You never know. She might, you know, fingers crossed. But no, I did want to get him on the podcast one time, and I think I just randomly said, like, I know a lot of Luton fans aren't happy with the way you left them, something along them lines. And like he came back at me really abruptly. I'm like, I don't think I'm getting this interview now. And I didn't.
Paul Buckleby perhaps doesn't sound like him at all.
In fairness, like I remember one of Paul Buckle's first interviews, and there was like he was answering a question, and there was a lot of commotion going on outside.
Charlie Henry,
probably, I don't know, but he just like looked at someone off camera and goes, "Can you sort that out?" And I was just like, I actually thought at that point in time when we were all those years back in non-league, I actually thought this is what we need. Someone who's not going to take shit.
Well, he said, because he goes, is that Charlie? And you can see him think, right, he's got his card mark there. Obviously, he never picks him either.
Yeah. I was like, it's just one of them, like, you know, and again, nothing against Paul Buckle, because back in the non-league days, he gave us one of the highlights of our lives by beating Norwich in the FA Cup, you know. He was the manager of that team. So we're getting completely off topic now, and we're going down memory lane. But, you know, I have nothing against Paul Buckle. I thought he was fine.
How can beating a side of division lower than us now really be a highlight?
I know, right? But he was fine. He was fine as a manager, you know, and like it's just that he ran into every single problem that every manager before him ran into as Luton manager, which was teams would stick 10 men behind the ball and play for a draw or look to score on a counter-attack. So something similar to what we're doing now against Premier League teams, surprisingly.
Apart from the Norwich game, he actually was one of our worst non-league managers result-wise.
Statistically, probably, but I mean, we also have to look at Gary Brabham in that category, you know.
And if you do statistically, the best one was actually Richard Money, I think.
Oh, fuck me.
So these are stats that mean absolutely nothing whatsoever.
I just want to say to Kevin, who for some reason listens to this show from Ohio and just became a new manager, do not look up the days of Richard Money. It's not fucking fun.
But if you are going to, just look up Richard Money, Pavel Bester, Tamworth.
No. Richard Money fights own fans. That's what
It will be exactly the same result.
Oh, right, yeah.
Thank God for John Still.
You are just bringing those up because they are at the same football knowledge level as you are, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, actually, to be fair, I mean, he did sign that Portuguese American savior bloke.
Can I just point out? Everyone gets one wrong because this fucker turned around and said Chris Wood was overrated. Scored a hat trick against Newcastle. Scored 2 against us, and he's overrated. Get the fuck out of here. He just doesn't like New Zealand.
Fucking New Zealander.
He just doesn't like New Zealand because he's Australian now. No longer Norwegian. Even on his passport now, he's just scribbled out the Norwegian part. It just has Australian on it.
Did you put this criminal record underneath it?
I'll have you know, I have a Norwegian passport. I don't even have an Australian passport. Come on.
Well, that's because you don't have a criminal. Well, you haven't been convicted of anything yet. You need that.
You need to go to England, get convicted, and then they'll send you there.
Fair enough.
Well, that's fine. Come to England. We'll put this stew in and see what happens.
Oh my god. Okay, moving on. So, I wanted to mention one more thing. You know the January transfer window is coming up. Do you guys foresee or think that we are looking to sign anyone?
Yes,
I think possibly a centre back.
Forgetting like outside people, we should re-sign Andros Townsend. I would hope that he resigns for the rest of the season because right now his contract's only until January. So I foresee
that's the point too. Yeah,
I foresee us re-signing him till the end of the season. Hopefully, if no one else comes in with a fucking crazy offer.
Which they won't. I think as it stands, we've got space in the squad anyway, without even if Townsend signs, haven't we? Possibly.
You would hope so with Lockyer going down the way he did.
Well, no, not even Lockyer. I think we basically we had some 23 out of the 25 in the squad with a couple of spaces and Townsend's come in. So
hopefully you hope that that we can bring in a player or two. But yes, centre back because of the Lockyer situation is probably a position that they're looking at.
I mean, what I would like to see as well is basically, so if it is a case of we don't have the capacity there, is basically the Premier League allow us to name an extra man in the squad to keep Tommy Lockyer in the squad, even though he won't play again this season in all likelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would require Premier League to be sensible and humane. Come on, that's not going to happen.
I mean, even like you sign Townsend, that's 24. I mean, you may look at it and go, "Do we need a centre back?" I mean, right now you've got Mengi, Osho, and although, as Alex said, was at fault for probably a couple of Sheffield United's attacks, Bell as the 3. You've also got Burke coming back, Potts coming back, Anderson played really well when he came on against Newcastle.
Burke is made out of glass.
No, I get that, but like realistically, how many if you're thinking about your starting 3 as Mengi, Osho, and Bell, which it probably should be, do you really need Burke to play that many games, or do you need him to come off the bench and be an extra defender for the last 10 minutes of games when you're winning?
I think Burke is actually probably our best centre back when fit.
Like, I'm not taking anything away from Burke. He said he's made of glass, which let's face it, he's been injured a lot. It's not wrong. Is he one of our better defenders? Yes, he's great on the ball. He's fantastic on the ball. But right now you've got the option between him and Mengi. So if you have the option between him and Mengi right now, who are you picking? Probably picking Mengi.
And then you have Matt Sanderson, and I think he's been unlucky to have been injured at a crucial point because both Mengi and Osho found really a rich vein of form when he got injured. So he's been struggling, but he's just been back the last two weeks, and I actually think he's going to do well once he is fully back. I think he's going to be serious competition for Bell, and I kind of rate him above Bell at the moment in my opinion.
I actually think he's going to be competition for Giles, because I think what they may do is put Anderson at that left centre back position and put Bell out wide and take Giles off completely, because Giles wasn't great. And I know I said it wasn't his fault for the goal, and I don't think it was, but he also wasn't great during the games. You know,
if you say put Bell out wide, what are you doing with Dowsey?
Putting on the right.
You play him on the right hand side.
Kabore is going to be in the African nations.
Exactly. Plus, Kabore gets taken off at half time in the last game. Like, I know you guys were saying like an illness, like a flu or something.
Injury.
No, he has a knee injury.
What if it's more serious? Then you put Doughty on the right, Bell on the left. Don't get me wrong. I've said it to you before, Nick. I think Doughty's better on the left, but push comes to shove, Doughty right, Bell left. Man, Anderson, Osho, and Mengi in the center.
If you compare him to Trippier,
he also play right hand side.
If you compare him to Trippier, who's an England international, I actually think that Doughty is better than Trippier. And
he's just brought up a point right there. I actually meant to say during the Newcastle game. You look at the first half when Doughty was on the left-hand side before Kabore came off. I don't remember Trippier once causing us any problems.
Nope.
Second half when Jaws was on the left, he started to come into the game more.
Yeah. But the worst thing is that Doughty actually wants to play. He thinks he's better at right back than left back.
Does he?
Yeah, and that just says what an insane player we got him. And we got him for free. It just blows my mind.
He was about $500,000
signings we've done.
Yeah, he was about $500,000 from Stoke. Was it Stoke, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which
did we actually pay for him?
Yeah, it was undisclosed fee. You know our club, undisclosed fee.
All right, fair.
I actually had a quick look on the Stoke message board the other day, and there's a thread titled Doughty and Brown. I thought this could be interesting. And there's something, okay. So we were supposed to be signing players who can play in the Premier League. Those two could. We never saw it at the time, but fair play to them. How many of our squad now could? And they said none.
Yeah, fair enough.
And here's the thing: you look at our squad right now, and we're talking about Mads Anderson. If Mads Anderson gets a run in the team from now till the end of the season, you've got at least 2 Luton players making the Euros.
Oh yeah, the Euros.
That's crazy to me to have Luton players in the Euros.
Well, Bennett's not one of them, is he? So
fuck off. I'm actually glad we didn't make the Euros, just so you know. I'm actually glad we didn't make the Euros because Stephen Kenny's a fucking joke. But that's for the Irish International Podcast. But no, yeah, like it's crazy to me that like obviously I think like we just grew up in an era where Luton Town players didn't really make international teams, you know?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, we had a couple of ones, also ones linked to fun ones. I mean, I think there's the
Carlos Edwards, Lars Elstrup, Carlos Edwards. I remember in a World Cup. Yeah. I remember watching every single one of their games just to watch Carlos Edwards.
Yeah.
Thomas Ravelli was a goalkeeper we were linked heavily with, but there was nothing in that. So
yeah, it's crazy to me that we could have 2 players at a major competition. And realistically, when you think about it, we should have more. Because if Gareth Southgate knows what he's doing at all, he's bringing Barkley and Doughty.
Well, Barkley definitely. I mean, Barkley's the thing. I'll say Doughty.
I'll be honest with you. I think England need Doughty more than Barkley. Like England have a lot of competition in that midfield space. So if Barkley doesn't go, it's kind of one of them things where you're gonna make. It's a mistake that I can see you making. Really, realistically, who have you got a left back or left wing back? Realistically, better than Doughty.
Just as a side note, Mads Andersen hasn't been in the Danish squad ever, I think.
At all.
So I don't think it's given that he's going to be in the Euros.
That's why I added in. Like, if he can get a run in the team between now and the end of the season and play the way he's been playing, I think he can. I think he can break that squad.
Yeah, just gotta wait to see.
Because not to make Alex feel good here or anything, but Denmark aren't really that good. it's a bit surprising that they're there and Norway isn't.
Well, that's because Norway are absolutely fucking shits plus 1 player.
But Norway, Norway have the best. Two.
Hey,
players.
we have 2
players.
Two
players. They have the best striker in the world and apparently the best attacking midfielder in the world. If you listen to Arsenal fans, I don't believe that after Ross Barkley.
No, I don't listen to Arsenal fans.
I don't believe that after Ross Barkley made him look like a fucking average non-league player. But
I'm not gonna say anything. But I think with the window opening up, I think we will see some movement. I think we'll probably see more movement out than in. I think we will see a few people talking about wanting to sign players on a permanent. I think we will probably see some of that movement happen. And I think it's all going to be down to if Lockyer is going to hang up his boots or not. From all the things I'm seeing now, there are indications that he probably isn't going to. But will we see him this season? I don't think so. I can't even remember how long it took for Ericsson to come back.
I think that Tom, all I'm going to say is I'm not going to speculate whether he plays again or not. I think I'm just glad he's okay, and I just hope whatever choice he makes is his own choice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not that. I'm just talking about what in what choice do we have when it comes to the transfer window? Do we get in another central defender to compensate from him being out, or do we look at other places to strengthen the team? I think there is an argument for also maybe starting to look at the striker as well, to have a third option up front as well. And yeah, I see you shake your head there again.
Not at all.
I actually think we will be looking at doing that as well.
I don't see a need for a striker right now at all, considering that you're not playing Eli and Carlton together. Now, if you start playing Eli and Carlton together, then you look at a third option. Plus, you look at who we've got on loan right now, and I don't know how Joe Taylor's doing, but he started the season really fucking well. And McAtee seems to be doing fantastic at Barnsley. So I'm not saying they're ready to take the step up the Premier League, but you've also got to be careful. I don't think you do anything in January. If anything, you do something in the summer if you stay up. Because realistically, if you go down to the Championship, Taylor and McAtee could be the players you're looking at. Could be the players you say, okay, they're going to be our backups, or they could be our starters if someone comes in for Eli and Carlton. You know, I don't necessarily think a striker is a player that we look at. I do agree that with Alex that I think you're asking the Premier League to be realistic about the fact that Lockyer definitely won't play again this season. And to give us some sort of dispensation for that. I don't think they will. I just don't think that's in the Premier League's fucking graces to do that, or the FA's for that matter. But I think striker-wise, I don't see anything happen between now and the end of the season, because realistically, when you think about it as well, like Eli and Carlton are kind of similar in the way not the way they play, but kind of similar in that they're big, they're pacey, they can hold up the ball, they can cause defensive problems. But at the same point, if you want something different, then stick Ogbene in there, stick Brown in there, maybe even Chong in there, just to give something.
Now, Gav, because you said you're going to have a drink every time one of us said something stupid.
I do see it.
Drink now, please.
Yes, please. A lot of drinks.
Because I'm about to say I agree with every word you just said.
You said my name and then you lag, Nick, so I don't know what the fuck you're going to say.
Oh, man.
Right,
Gavin,
you're going to drink now because I said something stupid?
Hang on. Oh, yeah, the world is ending.
No, what I was about to say.
You agree?
Hold
on. I thought you were going to take a drink. You actually agree with me?
Yes, that's what I said. Case of drink. I'm about to say something stupid.
Oh my! See, you're kind of cutting out right now. Okay. Because you were kind of cutting out there a little bit. I'm kind of like, you were cutting out a little bit. I'm kind of like sitting there going, he's gonna fucking say something stupid right now. I better get ready to drink. And I haven't got a lot left, so better make it quick.
And with that,
already,
I think it's best we finish off this podcast before this cataclysmic event is going to happen.
I agree with Alex. We should end the podcast on Nick agreeing with me. Just remember that, people. Nick agreed with me. That's how we're ending this podcast.
I said I'm not capable of not saying something stupid, so thank you.